This is Builder Greg coming from me from Waco, Texas again. Wanted to bring you on one of my restoration projects that I kind of got dubbed to do. This is my grandfather's gun, purchased in the mid to late 20s. This is a Remington Model 17, 20 gauge pump, the predecessor to the Ithaca 37. A lot of people think that the Ithaca 37 was the beginning of it all. It is not. The Remington 17 was in fact the beginning. It's a John Browning design with patent date of June 15th, 1915. Which I don't know if you can pick that up or not. And then it was made by Remington until approximately 1933. And then in 1937 is when the Ithaca picked up the patent and started making the Ithaca 37s. The gun was in pretty much a poor state. It was non-functional. My uncle brought it to my attention and said he'd like to pass it down. Well, on these old guns like this, you don't really want to pass down a complete piece of junk, but the whole idea was not to completely restore it to make it look new either. It was kind of a compromise between the two and not spend an awful lot of money in the process. The magazine tube was bent so badly and non-functional you couldn't load it. The magazine follower somebody had torn up. Here's the old magazine tube. The dent, although it does not look bad on the exterior, you couldn't load, and once the dent was out, which I probably could have got it out, then somebody had got after it with something and just tore the end of the magazine tube off, which wouldn't allow the magazine nut to fit properly on it, and it was just downright ugly. It had a myriad of dents up and down it, light coat of surface rust. Somebody had gotten after the magazine nut with a pair of pliers, which is a no-no. Epic fail. Whoever was messing with this gun before, the buttstock was actually taped to the receiver with about 4 or 5 rounds of duct tape. As you can see, it's been split several times. A big split on the top, pinned with a couple of brad nails. I guess at the time they did the best they could do. But these guns are in fact, the weak link of the gun is the buttstock, because the bolt and the cartridge carrier, which ejects, actually comes out the back of the receiver a little bit, and you can see there's not a lot of material there to bed against the back of the receiver. I was able on this particular gun to save most of it. It's all original. I was able to fix the follower, beat it back out and tin it back up and re-blue it and get it to look pretty good. The buttstock on the rear is the only thing that I had to actually put that's actually new to this gun, and that's from making gun stocks out of Missouri. Nice example, but a lot of work. The hardest part of it was to point and flute the comb right here. That was a rough thing to do, and the angle from the hill to toe was incredibly difficult to try to get on this gun, because most of them are straight cut on the butts now. With this particular gun, it is not. So they had to be fitted in a lot of thinning on the gun, on the buttstock I should say, to get it to look right and not to go overboard and make it look too new to match the original 4N grain. And so to raise the grain and get the same color stain and make it look right, all in all, it turned out pretty good. Wiped some of the oiling off of it. The barrel was in surprisingly good shape. The magazine tube, of course, was horrible. The gun was completely disassembled, cleaned, checked. It does function and operate properly, although the gun probably not get shot again. It did give me a chance to experiment with some cold bluing process that I hadn't used in a while, some of the newer products. And don't waste your time or money. I always go back to my standby, and that's Brownell's Oxbow Blue. You can get it as blue as you want by heating it up, or anywhere in between. So it actually turned out pretty nice. The barrel was touched up blued. It wasn't in surprisingly terrible shape. It's got a few small dings on it, but nothing worth really getting after and doing caustic blue job on and making it look new. That wasn't the intent. The intent is just to make someone proud to receive it and pass it down through the generations, and I think I achieved that. I would be proud to get this gun. Whereas the shape before, I'm not so sure about it. It's kind of like giving somebody an old car that's rusted all to pieces, or a car that has no rust. Which one would you rather have, and is it likely to stay in your family after that? Well, if it's in terrible bad shape, probably not. So my philosophy is that if you've got an old gun and you want to pass it down to generations, just do your best to bring it back to life, so somebody will be proud to have it and give it to their children. And who knows, it may stay in the family 100 years or so, or 200. It's been in the family since 1920, and I thought it was worthy to bring it back to life, to be able to pass it down. So I just wanted to show you some of the other stuff I do besides new builds, and it turned out fairly well. Any question or something I might can help you with about fit or function or something like that, hit me up, let me know. Like I said, I'll give credit, and I was able to give credit to making gun stocks. Even though it didn't look like this when I got it, it required a lot of finishing, an awful lot of finishing, and a lot of inletting up here where it actually mates to the receiver. Thank goodness for a mill machine to lay it down and mill that out, and makes jobs a lot easier. But all in all, I think it turned out pretty good. Believe it or not, sourcing of some of the parts for these guns are getting more and more difficult to do. I lucked out and got another magazine tube and nut. Although Ithaca 37 does sell some of these parts, they are not quite the same. The magazine nut is different. The follower's plastic, not stamped steel. So all in all, it turned out fairly nice for what it is, and that's simply to pass it down, and maybe it will get passed along a couple more generations. Who knows? It's a legacy thing for me. I've done this for some of my children in the past, giving them some of my father's guns, and this is going to get passed along, and I just kind of wanted to show you what it is. It's the Remington Model 17, the predecessor to the Ithaca 37, built from approximately 1917 to 1933, and then Ithaca 37 took over, for those of you who don't know. But primarily functions the same as the Ithaca 37. That's all I have for you today, and I promise you I'll get the Howl video on the 223 bolt out soon. I've got a couple other small jobs that I'm doing, but I'll get it out to you. And then I have some interesting HK builds coming along the way too. So I'll just let you know how that goes. Again, thanks for watching, and thanks for the interest in the videos, and I'll do my best to answer your questions if you have any. Thanks for watching, guys.